Welcome back to the Ross Bolin podcast, presented by Bolin Media. I am Ross Bolin, here with co-host / producer, Kade Orris. Kade, say hello to the people.
Hello, people.
Kade, did you ever see the 2002 film The Rookie, starring Dennis Quaid?
I have, yeah. And a lot of times on TikToks, I'll get served like 1 minute movie clips, and I get a lot of The Rookie, and it kind of makes me want to go back and watch it again.
Yeah, it's kind of like a weird sports classic.
Yeah.
In a way. It's based on the true story of a dude named Jim Morris, who debuted in Major League Baseball at age 35. So, I'm 36. And it's funny because I saw this film in theaters when it came out in 2002. And at the time, 35 seemed like...
How old were you in 2002?
Pretty fucking old. Was that like... It was 22 years ago? So 14?
Okay. So you still had aspirations to, pitch in the major leagues probably. You're like, oh, I won't have to worry about this because I'll just
probably.
be there.
This was before I started smoking pot and refusing to cut my hair. So yeah, probably. But 35 when I was 14 seemed quite old. Like that was a grown man, Not to say that I'm not a grown man.
I think he probably was way older than 35 too when he got that role.
Oh yeah, Dennis Quaid looked like he was 45, 50. Yeah. But anyway, I don't understand why this never happens in real life. Like, why doesn't it happen more often that an old dude just says fuck it and goes pro? And this came up because I was playing basketball in my driveway yesterday, and as often occurs to me when I'm shooting hoops completely alone in my driveway, I made 10 shots in a row, and in the moment I was high on endorphins because I usually shoot hoops while I'm working out, so there's a lot going on. I made 10 in a row, and I convinced myself that if I had time to train, if that was the only thing I had to focus on, I could become the last man off the bench, a spot-up shooter in the NBA. If I trained all day...
Just on shooting, no defense, none of that. You could be a complete liability on the other end of the floor.
Have to be minimally good at... Yeah, I guess that would be problematic. But if I trained all day, every day for 2 years, if you gave me 2 years off and you said all you have to do is try to become a professional athlete in something, I feel like I could do that before I'm 40. And I know that's probably misplaced confidence, but...
I mean, I don't think you're alone. I think a lot of dudes your age probably still think
Yeah,
this.
but most of them are wrong.
Yeah, but I'm going to say I think you're
I'm special.
You're special.
I'm special.
You're built different.
Yeah, I'm built different. I'm special. All right, here's what I'm saying. I think that at least I know that that's a trope, middle-aged dudes that think they've still got it, and they don't. But what if I do?
Yeah, I guess you never know until you try.
What if some of us do?
Yeah.
Surely some of us do.
Right. But that's the thing, teams aren't offering tryouts anymore. The movie with Mark Wahlberg, when he tries out for the Eagles, they just had fucking team tryouts, any schmuck
could go out
on the
there.
road. Yeah, could go out there and try out. Teams aren't doing that anymore, unfortunately.
It is sad.
Yeah.
We should have that.
Yeah,
for every major sport.
Just for the dudes in their mid-30s who still think they have a shot, and just to get proven that hey,
you don't.
Just
to go out there and have their dreams crushed one more time.
Yeah,
because I think we do need to be taken down a peg or two, because this has got to stop happening in my mind.
Yeah,
I just keep thinking to myself I think, and I think it's also because when you're in your mid-30s, you're this is it. This is the last several year stretch where I will have a shred of athleticism in my body before it starts to break down.
Right.
And so you have this last ditch effort in your mind to convince yourself you could do it. But I think I could do it.
You, Dennis Quaid, and Mark Wahlberg are the only three that can play in the major leagues in their 30s. Yeah.
Anyway, the plot of The Rookie is hilarious. I'm just gonna read it. So Jim Morris is the son of a career Navy man who moves the family from Hollywood, Florida, not Hollywood, California, Hollywood, Florida, to Big Lake, Texas, in order to maintain job security.
Was Big Lake a real place? Have you heard of it before? No idea?
Not
okay.
Outside of this movie.
Gotcha.
Google it, though. Maybe it is real. Jim is shown to be a skilled pitcher, though his father disapproves of Jim's dream of making it to Major League Baseball. It is later mentioned that the town to which Jim's family moved, Big Lake, has lost its love for baseball, preferring football instead.
Makes sense. Texas is a football school.
Yeah. So as a result, Jim was unable to play baseball in high school because apparently they just loved football so much they just did away with baseball. It says he later gets a chance when he is drafted by the Milwaukee Brewers. I don't understand how he got drafted by the Brewers. He didn't even play high school baseball. Yeah. But he tears up his shoulder, ending his hopes of achieving his lifelong dream. In 1999, so you fast forward, Jim is married with 3 children, and he's a high school science teacher as well as the head baseball coach for the high school.
Oh, he didn't go down the meth route?
Apparently not.
Okay.
He decided on coaching baseball instead of cooking
better.
meth.
Yeah.
With a former student. His team, the Big Lake Owls, is unsuccessful, with many of his players being skilled but unmotivated, especially with little community support. So nobody's showing up to the games.
Yeah. I think they're playing on like a dirt field too. It's real janky.
It's a piece of shit. Yeah. So one day after practice, the team catcher offers to play catch with Jim. And there, it is revealed that Jim may still have his fastball. And it is soon displayed to the rest of the team.
Just the fastball, though. No other pitches, not curveball, slider. He's just throwing heat out
Somehow, after years of not throwing, he's got like a 96-mile-an-hour heater still. And the catcher is like, God damn, that hurt my hand. You throw pretty hard still. We should show the other kids.
Yeah.
And so the Owls, the team, his high school team that stinks and that no one cares about, believe that Jim could possibly pitch in the major leagues, and they offer him a deal. If the Owls can win district and make the state playoffs, Jim will try out for the major leagues once again.
That's all the motivation they need.
Yeah, to actually do shit. So he accepts their offer, and furthermore, the team urges him to throw his fastball in batting practice, which immensely improves their batting skills. So I don't know who was in charge of pitching at batting practice before, but now that they got Jim in there throwing major league heat, that's how the team vastly improves and becomes a real contender.
Yeah, because you're getting no practice against like MLB competition.
Right. So they end up winning district. They go from totally irrelevant and dog shit to winning the district. and Jim has to hold up his end of the bargain, and he's told of a tryout nearby for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, and Jim goes without telling his wife Lori because he's afraid that her fear of him re-injuring his shoulder would keep him from going. And if I remember correctly, which I vaguely do, it's so overdramatic, like this concept of him re-injuring his shoulder. It's like you know how many countless war movies and TV shows, like a dude comes back from a tour and then he like can't live a normal life in society, so he wants to go back for another tour, and his wife's like, "You're gonna die out there, Jim." It's like that, except his shoulder.
Just to play baseball.
That just his shoulder. She's like, "You're gonna hurt your shoulder, Jim."
Oh no.
But so anyway, he doesn't tell his wife Lori. And after his tryout, the professional scouts discover his ability to repeatedly throw a baseball at 98 miles an hour. And the lead scout tells Jim that he could be signed to a minor league deal. And I can't remember exactly how the tryout goes down, but somehow during the tryout, it like doesn't work out. It's after the tryout that they see, maybe he doesn't get to go. They like run out of time or something, and they're sorry, old timer. So he ends up like staying behind and playing catch with somebody, and they're like, oh my God. They hear like the pop of the mitt, and they're like, that old timer has got it. So yeah, his wife finds out. His wife finds out that he didn't tell her because she gets 2 phone call messages from the Tampa Bay Scouts. It's very, very trying for their marriage. And then Jim tells his father, with whom he still has a cold relationship, of his situation, and his father once again tries to dissuade Jim. His father's a real piece of shit.
I think his father's also Brian Cox, maybe.
No fucking way. That would be incredible. Look it up. So his wife, it's Brian Cox.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude. Brian Cox is in so much shit that people don't realize. Like, if there's a lot of Succession fans that love Brian Cox, right? You don't realize he's in Super Troopers.
Yep.
He's in this fucking movie, The Rookie. He's in Deadwood. He just randomly shows up in the 3rd season of Deadwood on HBO, which is an all-time great show. It's a Western. You should watch it if you never have. His character is ridiculous in Deadwood. He's like a gay leader of a theater troupe. Dead serious. It's insane. Anyway, Brian Cox is the man, obviously. But, okay, so his dad tries to talk him out of it. Like, you're old, you're washed up.
He's also 35.
Let this dream die. You know, you suck. And then his wife is also reluctant to let him go, citing his home responsibilities. Who's going to mow the lawn, Jim? Shit like that. But after seeing how Jim is inspiring their son, Hunter, she allows him to go. So Lori sucks it up and lets Jim go try to chase his dream one more time. So initially, he's assigned to the minor league AA Orlando Rays, but quickly moves up to the AAA Durham Bulls, and then concerned for his family due to mounting bills because the pay in the minor leagues is dog shit, Jim decides to give it up and come home. So he once again is going to quit for like the 4th time in the film. But his wife talks him out of it, not wanting Jim to give up again, it says.
After being against it at first.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you can't give up now. You've come too far.
She's a real flip-flopper, this one. Jim gets inspired again when he unexpectedly views his own interview on a television and then watches a Little League baseball game the same night, remembering the same love for baseball he had as a kid. So he watches the children playing, and he's like, yeah, I remember my love of the game. So in September, Jim is told that a Major League Club has called him up, it's the Rays, and they'll be playing in Texas against the Rangers. And Jim calls his wife, who in turn informs the whole town. And then having told her of the dress code for players in the majors, Jim finds his sports coat, a necktie, and his St. Rita medal. St. Rita is the saint of impossible dreams. And it's hanging in his locker when he arrives. So she hooks him up with all of his fucking one suit that he has and shit. And this fucking medal to help him out. And then his family and the high school players and a bunch of the townspeople, they go to the game, and it's like so nonchalant, this whole situation. He wasn't with the team. He wasn't like traveling with them. They call him and they're like, "Hey Jim, you're coming up to the big show. We've got a game in Texas against the Rangers. If you could just meet us there."
We got a jersey for you.
That will be it. That's the situation.
So like when he was in the minors, did they like show any of that? Like him like going up?
Yeah, there's like a montage.
Okay, but like he was throwing heat, and they're like, oh wow, he actually still has it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember. It was fucking 22 years ago, but something along those lines.
I just know like being in the minors, like it's really tough to like get called up to the majors. So like if you're like a young prospect just drafted, and you see this old fart just like getting like called up to the majors like after like a year, I'd be pissed.
He's 35. So it says Jim impresses many of the coaches in warm-ups with his fastball. So they watch it warm up and they're like, okay, yeah, we can trust this guy. Yeah. And late in the game, with Tampa Bay losing badly, so they're getting crushed by the Rangers, okay? And they're like, oh, fuck it. Let's bring the old guy in and let him live his dream. So he comes in to pitch to Royce Clayton and end the inning. And Jim gets a strikeout against Clayton. Guess what he throws?
Just straight heat.
Three straight fastballs. That's the fucking at-bat. 3 straight fastballs. After the game, Jim gets interviewed by the press, and during the interview, Jim notices that his father had also come to the game. Sees him up there in the stands. You know, he really did love
moment.
me.
Yeah.
Yep. Jim's father admits how special it is to be able to see his son playing in the majors and apologizes for not supporting Jim before, even though it's fucking too late now. And Jim thanks him and gives him the ball with which he had gotten the strikeout, and the two repair their relationship.
Wow.
Really
It's
heartwarming.
a happy ending.
Yep.
Good stuff.
Jim then meets with his family and all the townspeople who had come to the game, and they're all applauding Jim on his amazing success story. And then you see the Big Lake High School trophy case displays Jim's Major League jersey, and then it's mentioned that Jim, like, it's like, I think it just gives you like some like words on the screen at the end of the movie. It's like, Jim went on to pitch in the major leagues for 2 seasons before retiring and returning to teaching in Texas. So he did it.
He did it. He actually did it.
He fucking did it.
I want to see what his stats were.
Anyway.
Also, Dennis Quaid looks nothing like the actual Jim Morris. He's got like a stash and everything.
Jim Morris did?
Yeah. Just not very, very similar. But
Jim Morris, not Jim Morrison.
right, that's to
be clear.
old singer. But
Oh my God, yeah, he does look absolutely nothing like him.
why does it not give me? Okay,
Still a cool story,
13 hits, 12 runs, or 8 earned runs, 2 home runs, 13 Ks. On
How many
21
games did he pitch though? 21 games.
Yeah.
Okay.
15 innings pitched.
Wow. Not bad.
Yeah.
But that's over 2 years.
Yeah. Guess it wasn't getting a lot.
The
of
stats aren't
PT.
what's important, Kade. What's important is
It's the
chasing
story.
your
Yeah,
dreams.
no. I know.
And never giving up.
Right.
No matter how old and washed up you get.
Yeah. It's inspiring. You shouldn't give up either on your dream of trying to make it to the NBA when you literally never play.
I didn't even play high school basketball. That's why I'm not giving up on my dream.
Well, you're Jim Morris, it sounds like.
I watched like Kyle Korver, and I'm like, I could fucking do that.
Yeah.
I don't even know if Kyle Korver's still playing.
I don't believe he is, but there are a lot of Kyle Korver equivalents out there in the league.
Just a white dude who stands in the corner.
Yep.
Waits to get the rock and immediately fucking shoots.
Yeah, that's all. That's all.
Runs down to the other end of the court and gets dunked on. I could do that.
Hey, you're getting 3 for 2, so
I could fucking do that.
yeah, you got it.
Anyway, I want to see more mid-30s washed-up dads making professional sports teams.
Yeah, bring back just like random tryouts for professional teams.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
That's what we need.
Grab your light, this is stuff to Wikipedia when you're high.
Stuff to Wikipedia when you're high.
Today's stuff to Wikipedia when you're high is baby jumping. These are not jumping babies.
Oh.
It's baby jumping. So I saw this post from Street Art Globe on Instagram. It's one of my favorite follows about this baby jumping festival in Spain. And I'll read a little bit of that to set the stage here. But go ahead and Google baby jumping festival and check out the ridiculous images while I read this. If you're not driving, if you're driving, hands
Just
on the
pull
wheel.
over.
Yeah,
and
just
look
pull
at
over
them.
right now. It's
Yeah.
important enough. So once a year in mid-June, it says devils run wild in the Spanish village of Castillo de Murcia. Now in its 400th year, the Baby Jumping Festival is a blend of Catholic and pagan rituals meant to represent the triumph of good over evil. The festival of El Colacho dates back to the 1620s and takes place on the Sunday after the Feast of Corpus Christi. Its origins are unclear, but some historians believe it may have started as a fertility ritual. During the festival, red and yellow masked devils run through the streets, hurling insults at villagers and whipping them with a horse tail attached to a stick.
Isn't that how Jared gave you COVID?
Yeah, it is. It's the exact same way. When drums announce the arrival of the black-clad Atabayero, pious men who have come to drive out evil, El Salto del Colacho, the fight of the devil, begins. The yellow devils run between and jump over babies lining the streets to remove any evil from them. And in following this, the leaders of the Catholic Church in the Burgos region cleanse the babies with holy water. So if you're looking at the photos, they put mattresses down in the street. And then I think it's 6 babies per mattress. I guess there's other shapes of mattresses,
it
like
depends.
4 babies.
3 to 6 or something like that.
But just a bunch of babies. They set them down on these beds. I guess you can only do babies that can't walk yet, because otherwise this is going to be chaos.
Yeah,
Babies
they're
are
probably
gonna be
like
sitting
newborns
up.
or something.
Yeah,
This is like their baptism almost.
And then these grown men dressed as devils, wearing, sneakers like Adidas and Nikes and shit, are jumping over the babies. I'll read some more from Wikipedia on baby jumping, which is literally, the Wikipedia page is just baby jumping. During the act, known as El Salto del Colacho, the devil jump, or simply El Colacho, men dressed as the devil, known as the Colacho, in red and yellow jumpsuits, jump over the babies born during the previous 12 months who lie on mattresses in the street. So they have to be under 1 year old, I guess. And then the devil has a whip and oversized castanets as they jump over the infant children. Before the jump begins, it says, the devils taunt onlookers until the arrival of Atabayero drummers. These pious men signal the beginning of the jump, which represents the devils being driven out and on their way. They jump over the babies, absorbing their sins and taking such sins with them. Again, it says the origins of the tradition are unknown because they've been doing it for 400 years. But it is said to cleanse the babies of original sin, ensuring them safe passage through life and guarding against illness and evil spirits. Pope Benedict the 16th asked Spanish priests to distance themselves from El Colacho. Fucking Roman numerals, dude. As the church teaches that the original sin is cleansed by baptism, so the Pope doesn't like El Colacho. But the Spanish, they can't stop, won't stop jumping over babies.
No.
Would not let my kid do this because it reminds me of like the dunk contest.
Okay,
you know?
sure, yeah.
They're always jumping over people.
Yeah, over people, over cars, and
over
all
Shaq, over whoever
things,
tall people they can grab from the audience, over their like high school coach, over whoever they can find. The stakes are a lot higher here because if one of these assholes just trips, he's like kneeing a baby in the head or stepping on a baby.
Baby's getting curb stomped.
And some of these mattresses are longer than others.
Yeah, you have to be an athlete. You can't be some washed up 35-year-old.
No.
Like, they're not calling you.
I mean, but these dudes they don't look young, these devils that they've got jumping over these children. And also, a lot of the babies are crying. Like, they're not happy about this.
No, they don't want to be placed on a mattress and have some random devil jump over them.
A lot of them have binkies.
Yeah. Also, one of them is like, it looks like he's jumping over it the long way. I'm like, you really got to get some airtime for that.
Yeah, dude, you better not fuck this up.
Yeah.
There's one picture with like a dad like holding his baby down because the baby's trying to sit up and he doesn't want it to get kicked in the head.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like a baby like tries to sit up and you just get domed by their foot.
Dude, we ridiculous rituals we have as human beings, many of them revolving around religion, but like the idea that you have to put your baby in the middle of the street and let some dude fucking rocking Adidas jump over him in order for the baby to like be cleansed of original sin is wild.
Also, I think like the baby seeing like the mask that these dudes are wearing, absolutely terrifying. Like, yeah, that'd probably make me cry too.
Yeah, but fuck, this would be really tight to go to though. Like, I don't want my kid in it, like,
no.
But I want to go see this.
Well, you don't
happen.
want it to be absolved of its original sin?
No, I do want that. I just don't want it to be done in this manner.
Okay.
This is too. I don't trust these devils to jump properly over my boy. This is wild as hell, though. Fucking baby jumping, dude. Who knew?
Who knew?
See, that's a sport I could go pro in.
Oh, for sure, yeah. You just gotta work on like your long jump.
That's it.
And that's all you need, yeah.
That's the one skill you'd have to practice to be really a great colacho, you know? Speaking of weird events, the city of Kyle, Texas is once again asking anyone with the name Kyle to join them on May 18th, next month, to break the record for the largest same-name gathering. Kyle needs 2,326 Kyles to set the Guinness World Record. It will be held at the Kyle Fair a Textravaganza. This will be the 5th annual gathering of the Kyles. You remember us talking about this before?
Yeah. We talked about it after the event last time.
Yeah, last year.
So now we're trying to get the word out.
We talked about it at the third annual gathering of the Kyles, which was in 2022, I believe. 2023 was the 4th annual gathering of the Kyles, and it's, again, taking place in an effort to break the world record for the most people gathered with the same first name. I wonder if your middle name is Kyle, if you're allowed to, like, if you
I feel like it'd
qualify.
have to be your first.
It's got to be your first name?
Yeah.
It says the current world record for most people gathered with the same first name comes out of Bosnia, where 2,325 people named Ivan gathered on July 30th of 2017. So last year, as Kade was saying, the city said Kyles came from all over the world for the event in hopes of beating the record of 2,325 people with the same first name together at the same place at the same time. But after a thorough count and recount of all registrants, the city said it had a total of 1,490 Kyles in attendance. So they were 835 Kyles short last year. They didn't really come close. That was, as we called it at the time, a piss-poor showing by Kyles.
Yeah, and I feel like that's so doable, too.
It's not that many Kyles. You don't need that many. We know there's probably at least...
It's got to be at least like 10,000 Kyles.
50,000 Kyles.
Yeah, even more.
There's so many Kyles.
There's so many Kyles.
I knew like
it's
3
just,
Kyles.
It's such a basic-ass name.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I knew like 3 Kyles. Like, the Kyles should be able to get this done. And just a note about Kyle, Texas. Great little town. Been many times.
I used to live there when I first moved here.
Oh, yeah, that is where you lived when you first moved. Good barbecue spots.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I spent a lot of time there in college. I think I had to do community service there at some point.
That's why you're there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not too far from San Marcos.
No, it's not. It's between San Marcos, where I went to school, and Austin.
Yeah.
But a great little town. Kade lived there. Not. If you change 3 letters of your name, you could be a part of this.
I could.
But you're not there. Anyway, if your name is Kyle and you're listening, come on, man. You know what you have to do. This is your time. Be a part of history. Seize your moment. Join up with your brothers, the other Kyles, and make some magic. Do something special. Mount up and ride with all the other Kyles of the world by your side. I'm so glad this isn't a gathering of the Rosses, because I would feel obligated to go.
You would absolutely have to.
I don't like to do stuff.
No, you really don't.
So I get it, though. Like, if you're a Kyle and you're like, oh, it's not worth it. Because I'll say this. If I went to the gathering of the Kyles as a Kyle and we fell 835 Kyles short, I would be fucking furious.
Yeah, you think there's someone that's been going like all 5 years, like in hopes, like, oh, this is the year we break the record, and then just to come so short again.
That's a great question. Like, I feel like there are probably part of what makes this difficult is you got to think 50% of the Kyles that came last year aren't coming back because it was such a letdown.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm not doing this shit again. I did my part last year. I tried. But you need to go back. If you were there and you feel sad that you didn't hit your mark, this is your year, Kyles. Come on. We don't know how many more of these years we've got left.
Yeah. Be a part of a Guinness World Record. Not many people can say that.
Can't let Bosnia have this thing.
No.
Got to beat the Bosnians. Yeah. Rise up, Kyles.
And I got to say, if they don't pull this off, I do feel like we have to move on to a different name and try with someone else. I don't know who that would be, but like, Kyle's,
Everybody named Big Lake goes out to Big Lake, Texas.
Yeah, a bunch of people named Big Lake.
I don't think we have that many.
No.
It'd be tough.
It'd be like 3.
Yeah.
Like if there was hard. All the Cades got together, there'd just be like 3 of us. And like
you
2
gotta
of them
find a town named Kade.
Yeah. Though. Is there? I doubt it.
Oh, there's gotta be. There's one in Germany.
Is there really?
Yep. One in Mali. One in Liberia. One in Indonesia. You got a lot.
Okay. Wow.
Let's see if there's a Ross.
Oh, there's definitely a Ross town.
Ross, Texas, though. Yeah, it's a city in Texas.
Ross, Texas.
We could do this.
You could do it, yeah.
I should
take
start
over.
This. The population of Ross, Texas was 234 at the 2010 census. Why is that the latest data they have? I guess they don't. Oh, they hit. Damn, the population went down. It's 200 people in 2022.
In Ross, Texas?
Yeah.
I'm looking at Kade, Germany, and I'm not joking. This is all they have on their Wikipedia.
It's one sentence. That's pathetic.
It's just a little village in Germany. I have to go.
Got to do better.
Yeah, I'll go to Kade, Germany, and then I'll fill out their Wikipedia.
I want to know how far away Ross, Texas is from where we are right now. Because maybe I organized the gathering of the Rosses. I mean, I even know a few Rosses.
Yeah.
Like Ross Tucker. Also, when you Google Ross, Texas, the second thing that pops up is Ross Dress for Less, which is... That was annoying when I was a kid.
Oh, wait. Oh.
You know how many times I'd tell people my name and they'd go, Ross Dress for Less.
I thought they were hitting you with the Ross Geller.
That happened a lot. I mean, people would bring up, like, oh, like Friends. But
it's only 2 hours away.
See? Okay, I could totally
do
pull this off. I could be the Ross that starts the gathering.
It's
of
near
the Rosses.
Waco.
Question, though. My first name isn't Ross.
Oh, then, yeah, you can't do it. Sorry.
That's bullshit. Fuck.
You could do William. William's a common name.
That would be so easy.
Yeah.
There's billions of. What's like 1/3 of the planet.
Yeah.
William is like the white Muhammad.
William's
there's just a shit ton of people named Muhammad. There's just a fucking ridiculous amount of white people named William.
Yeah.
That's your middle name?
Yeah.
So it goes Kade William Orris?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. I feel like William is usually the first name.
Yeah, I don't know why my middle name's William.
Is it a family name?
It might be. It probably is.
It's a family name for all white people.
Or no, my grandpa's name was Bill, I guess that's also
short for William.
William, which I don't.
You have to be a William to be a Bill. People don't know that.
Yeah.
You can't just be Bill.
It's not Billiam.
No, you got to earn this. It's William. And then you get a certain amount of old, and then people start calling you Bill.
Is there a William, Texas? There has to be. Williams, Texas.
Williams. That doesn't count.
Doesn't count. Okay.
Yeah, you got to drop the S.
Yeah.
Got to drop the S. Anyway, fun stuff for the Kyles.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get a Ross.
Get out there,
gathering
Kyle.
of the Rosses going.
Go out and do it.
Come
Make
on,
history.
Kyle. Come on, Kyle. We're counting on you, Kyle. Moving on. Kade and I experienced very different weekends, with him out at the bars getting obliterated and looking for love, and me at home getting the living shit kicked out of me by my kids. But when Monday rolls around, we're both in desperate need of recovery, so we celebrate Hydration Monday together with Liquid IV. When you have a big and busy weekend, staying hydrated often falls to the bottom of your priority list. That's why it's so important that once Monday rolls around, you catch up on hydrating your body with today's sponsor, Liquid IV. With 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drinks, plus 8 vitamins and nutrients for everyday wellness, Liquid IV hydrates 2 times faster than water alone, all in a single sugar-free stick, so you can feel like a hydrated new you, ready to take on whatever life throws your way. We have a massive supply of Liquid IV here at Bolin Media, which might make us the most hydrated media company in the entire world, honestly. Liquid IV has been one of our longest-running sponsors, supporting your favorite Bolin Media shows for many years now. We love Liquid IV. It's delicious, it's effective, and it's hydrating. What more can you ask for? My favorite flavor at the moment is the sugar-free white peach. Delicioso. 1 stick of Liquid IV and 16 ounces of water hydrates better than water alone, with 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink. No artificial sweeteners and 0 sugar. Contains 8 vitamins and nutrients for everyday wellness. Non-GMO, free from gluten, dairy, and soy. Replaces sugar with a proprietary amino acid allulose blend. Allulose is a naturally occurring sweetener with the same sweet taste and texture one can expect from table sugar. Weekends are for going wild. Have a game plan for Monday with Liquid IV. Grab your Liquid IV Hydration Multiplier sugar-free in bulk nationwide at Costco, or get 20% off your first order when you go to liquidiv.com and use code ROSS at checkout. That's 20% off your first order when you shop Superior Hydration today using promo code ROSS, R-O-S-S, at liquidiv.com. Kade, do you remember when we talked about Winnie-the-Pooh, Blood and Honey?
I do. It's actually been brought up a few times on the show. I think once when Jared was on it, but yeah, it's come up a lot.
It was once when it got announced it was being made, I think. Mm-hmm. Once when we talked about it when it actually released. But it's the Winnie-the-Pooh horror movie that got made because the Winnie-the-Pooh IP became public domain. I'm still very confused about how that works. Like, if you and I sat down today and created some classic children's literature character, it's kind of insane that they're like, all right, it's yours for now, but in 60 years, anybody can do whatever they want with it. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, well, isn't that what's happening
with Mickey Mouse or something?
Yeah, or it's like Steamboat Willie now.
The original Mickey Mouse.
Yeah. And then,
Steamboat Willie. Why the fuck? How did they go from that to Mickey Mouse?
I don't know, but yeah, it's like all these very old cartoons and stuff are starting to get into the public domain because it's been at least 50 or
I think it's 50
to 75 years,
something like that. But it's crazy to me. It's this insane concept. But anyway, they made this horror movie, and all these Winnie the Pooh real fans were horrified by it because it's super fucked up. The premise was ridiculous.
Oh, I remember why we talked. It's because a teacher showed this movie in class.
Oh, by accident. Yeah. Yeah, that was another time we talked about it.
Yeah, she had no idea what.
She showed the children Winnie-the-Pooh, Blood and Honey, and then they all went home and cried to their parents. Well, they made a sequel, because of course. And
because the first one did so well.
The sequel is called Winnie-the-Pooh, Blood and Honey 2.
Nice.
Yeah. And somehow the sequel made waves because it debuted with 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, which was an astounding 97% rating increase from the film's first installation.
Yeah, I saw this and I was so confused. I'm like, damn, did they actually cook with this one?
Yeah, right? People were asking, look, here's the story. It has since dropped to a 52% rating on the tomato meter, but has an 81% audience score. This is basically proof that Rotten Tomatoes is dead. At least in the sense that when you see, with every new big hyped up show or movie, all these different platforms that cover TV and film put up these graphics like Killers of the Flower Moon debuts with a 99% on Rotten Tomatoes, and you're like, oh shit, it must
go
be
see
really
it.
good.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean dick, because Winnie-the-Pooh Blood and Honey debuted with a 100%. So like it's a manipulatable system.
Yeah, it's just like two people
Right.
rated it at like a, I don't know how the
That they
rating
paid.
works. Yeah.
Well, if it's a positive review, it counts towards the 100%.
Yeah.
Like towards the the score.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a negative review, there's only positive and negative. It's not like based on a 1 through 10.
Yeah, it's like fresh or rotten. Pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. So the 97% rating increase from the first film's debut, they were using that as like marketing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Spraying that shit out everywhere, and people were eating it up, and it probably fucking worked. But it's not good for Rotten Tomatoes that this is how this shit works. That it's like, and paying attention to how things debut on Rotten Tomatoes. If Winnie-the-Pooh Blood and Honey 2 can do this, doesn't matter. Doesn't mean anything anymore. Anyway, here's the premise of the sequel, just because it entertains me. Deep within the 100-acre wood, that's where Winnie-the-Pooh lives with his boys and girls. It says, deep within the 100-acre wood, a destructive rage grows as Winnie-the-Pooh, Piglet, Owl, and Tigger find their home and their lives endangered after Christopher Robin revealed their existence.
So they added Tigger and Owl to this one.
Yeah.
It seems like.
I don't think they were in the first one, right?
I don't believe so. There wasn't no mention of it. I do know Eeyore is gone. He got eaten.
Yeah. Spoiler alert, but they did kill, murder, and eat Eeyore in the first film. I believe the rabbit, whose name is Rabbit,
Oh, yeah?
is also gone, and why he's not mentioned.
Oh, he's gone.
here.
Okay, they were going to save him for like the third movie.
I think he's murdered already. No, I think he died in the first one, like Eeyore, dude.
Poor Rabbit.
So they've only got Winnie, Piglet, Owl, and Tigger left. And it says, so Christopher Robin revealed their existence, not wanting to live in the shadows any longer. The group decides to take the fight to the town of Ashdown, home of Christopher Robin, leaving a bloody trail of death and mayhem in their wake. Fuck yeah. Winnie and his savage friends will show everyone that they are deadlier, stronger, and smarter than anyone could ever imagine, and get their revenge on Christopher Robin once and for all.
I am not a horror fan, really, but like I low-key like kind of want to watch
Right?
it.
Yeah, you want to get high and watch this because this sounds fucking entertaining as shit. It reminds me of like the really dumbass horror movies from the 90s, like The Leprechaun.
Oh, yeah.
Was one of them, where it's just like so patently ridiculous. Like Gremlins is probably the most famous one, right? The little gremlin creatures or whatever, but also Chucky, There's all these horror movies where like some inanimate object, they did one last year, it was like Megan or whatever, a couple years back, Megan, the little robot AI
doll,
thing.
yeah.
She freaks out. That was mildly entertaining. It wasn't good, but this is in that same vein.
Yeah. And then they clearly went back to the writer's room and it's not perfect, but it's a lot better than the original. I mean, it went from a 3 to a 52 or whatever.
Right.
And I think the audience likes it a lot more too. So they're kind of cooking.
People are buying in. They're like,
Yeah.
all right, I'm on board with this insanity. I can do this. I can watch Winnie-the-Pooh, Blood and Honey too. So yeah, no, at some point, if these are on streaming, I may just if I have a sick day or something, just watch these both back to back. Just to see.
Yeah, I gotta see how what happens to Eeyore, how they show that.
I want to see Winnie and his savage friends show everyone that they are deadlier, stronger, and smarter than anyone could ever imagine, and get their revenge on Christopher Robin once and for all. Yeah. Fuck Christopher Robin, dude.
What do you say? Fuck Christopher Robin.
He shouldn't have revealed their existence. That's what he did. He revealed their existence.
But they're in a 100-acre wood. Surely they can find somewhere else in there to just camp out and live their lives.
Well, a destructive rage grows, Kade. You have to fucking act on it. You can't just let it boil inside you. You have to go on a murderous rampage.
There has to be healthier ways to deal with it.
They need a fucking therapist in the 100-acre wood. That's what could have solved and avoided all this shit. But they didn't think that far ahead,
Yeah.
Anyway, so we got that to look forward to. The old Winnie-the-Pooh Blood and Honey 2. huge for us. That'll do it for today's show. Remember, Kade and I will be back later this week with another ad-free premium episode of all new content available exclusively on patreon.com/Ross Bolin podcast, just like we do every week. Right now, we're offering a 7-day free trial on Patreon. If you want to go check out the hundreds of ad-free premium episodes that are in there that we've recorded over the years. I think we got like 4 years worth of content on patreon.com/Ross Bolin podcast now. Tons of RBP you have never heard or seen if you've never been on Patreon. Go subscribe, support the show, enjoy the 7-day free trial. If you like it, stick around and support the show some more. Patreon.com/Ross Bolin podcast. Also, please remember to support our sponsors by hitting the links in the description of this episode. You can find the links to both of today's sponsors in the description below. Use the dedicated codes. That's how we pay the bills here at Bolin Media outside of your support on Patreon. Check out our other shows, Formula Bone with Jared J-Bone Borislow, giving you all of the news and all the latest action in the F1 world. If you're an F1 fan, go subscribe on youtube.com/@FormulaBone right now. Follow @FormulaBone on all the social medias. We've got the Japanese Grand Prix this weekend.
Yeah.
This weekend at like 2 a.m. or some shit, unfortunately. If you're a Houston sports fan, check out Banging the Can, where I talk about the latest in the Houston sports world. And if you are watching Shogun right now, Barrett Dudley, my co-host on Oysters, Clams, and Cockles, and I are covering Shogun in all of its glory. It is phenomenal. It's been really, really fun watching it. We're really enjoying it. Oysters, Clams, and Cockles, available on YouTube and also on the podcast platforms as well. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram @WRBolin. Mr. Orris, where can the people follow you?
You can follow me on all the social media platforms @Kade Orris. That's KADEORRIS.
This episode of RBP is presented by Bolin Media. Video of today's show was produced by Kade Orris. Go to youtube.com/@the-Ross Bolin podcast for full video of this episode, plus funny clips in the form of YouTube shorts. Follow us on all the social medias. Just search the Ross Bolin podcast on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. We're on all of them. And remember, until next time, you are not alone. Peace be with you and also with you.